modifications of the roots. So, for the struggle for existence, as a fact of natural selection, plants, that is especially roots, are modified into some other forms, some other structures, some other types to suit to the environmental conditions, to its needs, for its requirements, and they perform various functions. In those functions, we have seen storage of roots, tap roots, how they are storing food materials, what are the various names of tap roots, and adventitious roots, various types of adventitious roots as storage organs. And in the last part, we have given some adventitious roots are modified to perform additional function like mechanical support to the plant, giving extra support or mechanical support to the plant. So these mechanical support I have given. First one, prop roots. These are also called pillar roots. What are these prop roots or pillar roots? In banyan tree, banyan botanically Ficus bengalensis. So in the beginning, it will be difficult to remember, but slowly, gradually, once you started pronouncing and practicing writing, then you will easily understand to pronunciate. Ficus bengalensis, banyan tree. This Ficus bengalensis, as we have seen, having trunk with large branches, heavy branches, stout. So here large branches or heavy branches means a branch which is having more number of leaves or sub branches, fruits. So because of the more number of sub branches, leaves, fruits, it will be heavy for the branch. So from these branches, some roots will grow, adventitious roots develop, grow in the air. Finally, they will touch the ground to give extra support or mechanical support. These roots which develop from the branches, roots first hanging, slowly grow toward the soil and fix in the soil. It is an extra support, mechanical support given to the tree, to the branches, especially to the tree. The heavy weight of the tree, which is taking by only trunk of this, even though trunk is having sclerenchymatous cells, sclerenchyma, hard cells, which will bear the weight of the tree. Here, along with this trunk, these are called additional supports, gives mechanical support. Mechanical support or additional support. So they are looking like pillars. So they are called pillar roots. Prop roots, pillar roots, mechanical support, additional support. They are adventitious roots which provide additional support to the tree. Again, mechanical support. First they were hanging, slowly they will grow down and touch the soil and firmly hold the soil. It is nothing but second stilt roots. They are also called brace roots. Like a bracelet, bracelet will be attached to the hand. How bracelet will be there in the olden days, kings? Support, mechanical support. In some plants like maize, generally sugar cane, especially you can see here, sugarcane plants are having unbranched stems. Only stem will be there, there is no branch for the stem. Unbranched stems, and these stems are having nodes at regular intervals. They will grow. From the base of the nodes, basal nodes, the nodes which are first just near the soil, in the form of a circle, in the form of a whorl or circle, so many roots develop from the base of the, they grow obliquely and fixed to the soil. Obliquely. Obliquely and fix into the soil. They were from the bases. As and when the stem is growing, for the wind currents, the stem will be taking assistant support of these stilt roots or brace roots. Stilt roots, after some time, when they have grown, these roots are found near the nodes. So which are separated. So the roots are developed at the nodes, and these nodes which are nearer to the soil, basal regions of the stem, such roots are called stilt roots or brace roots, which gives mechanical support to the wind velocity of towards the direction of the wind or against the direction of the wind. They are able to withstand to the velocity of the wind. Third one, I remember in the previous class I have given contractile roots. Contractile roots which gives support. What support this is, we will see this. In some plants, like Amorphophallus, 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 generally elephant's foot. And this Amorphophallus plant is storing food in the stem, which is a modification of the stem. And when it is storing the food, see here, the upper part of the plant, lower part of the plant is below the soil, and this stem stores food and develops like this. So it looks like elephant's foot with birds, black colored, because it's always present in the brown in color, dark brown in color, or soil color. As and when food material is storing more and more, it is going to develop heavily. Because of its weight, it will go down into the deeper layers of the soil. It will go down because of the weight. It will go down. But here, some of the roots which will develop, which are called contractile roots. These roots, contractile roots, they will catch the soil and they will keep the stored stem, that is that food material, only up to a certain depth. It will not allow the stored food material to grow downwards. It means some contractile pulling roots. So these roots, when it is growing more and more, these roots will develop, they will catch the soil and it will not allow this food material to go down. So contractile roots are giving support, which are called pulling roots. Contractile roots are pulling roots. It will pull. What it will pull? The stored food material. The stored food material. Why it is pulling? Because it is growing more and more. So because of its weight, it will go into the, but it will maintain certain depth. The level of this is maintained to a depth available to the farmer is by contractile roots or pulling roots. Extra support, additional support. Clinging roots, as we have seen in the previous class, my dear students. Clinging roots. CLINGING, clinging roots. Where we have seen, when you refer your pages of the brain, you will understand. In epiphytic plants, we have seen some roots are developed from epiphytic plant to catch or hold the host plant, with which it is not going to take any thing from the host plant, only for attachment or support or fixation. Clinging roots holding or attachment roots that develop in epiphytes. So 4 types of roots we have seen, which are providing mechanical support to the plant. It is nothing but a type of modification for a special function, for some additional function apart from its normal function. Root modifications, adventitious roots, and some of the adventitious roots which are specially, we have discussed the first one, the prop roots, mechanical support. Third one, adventitious roots, which perform some vital functions, vital or physiological functions or special functions. We can give various names, which will perform some vital functions, physiological functions and special functions. That is, first one, floating roots. FLOATING, floating roots are the adventitious roots. What is the function they are performing here? It will make the plant to float on the surface of the water. How? In plants like Gessia, JUSSIAEA. In plants like Gessia, water plant, living in water. Some branches develops into sponge-like structures. In Gessia, some branches from the nodes arise aerially. Aerially means into the air, and becomes bulged with air cavities. Some branches from the nodes arise aerially, becomes bulged with air cavities. With this air cavity, they were able to make the plant to float on the surface of the water, which helps the plant to float on the surface of the plant, water on the surface of the For example, this is water. Here plants are stem reduced, leaves are produced here, leaves are produced here. Along with these, some structures, some branches which develops into sponge-like structures, spongy structures. Why we are calling them as spongy? They were having air cavities and bubbles like making floating on the surface. It will make the plant light and float. Buoyancy, buoyant property. Spongy structures. These spongy structures are nothing but floating roots. They were not only helps in floating but also for respiration, breathing roots. Floating roots, spongy and breathing roots. They make the plant to float on the surface of the water. These are the leaves from the node branches modified into type of some branching like structures. Assimilatory roots, vital function or physiological function. Here assimilation means synthesis, preparation of food material. Assimilatory roots are, they were responsible for the production of food material by a process called photosynthesis. So photosynthetic roots, photosynthetic roots. See here, this is not the property of root. Roots are not green, they were non-green, they were growing below the soil. But here some roots are there which are growing above the soil and becomes green and able to perform photosynthesis. So they will assimilate, synthesize food material in them. Photosynthetic roots are assimilatory roots in plants like in some plants like Ctenospora. Aerial roots. turns green and prepare food material. So assimilatory roots, aerial roots, this is the concept. In Trapa, a plant which is living in water. Water plant, hydrophyte. Submerged roots. Submerged means which are below the water, inside the water. In Trapa, submerged roots capable of performing the function of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. In Taeniophyllum, photosynthetic examples. In Pogonatum, Potamogeton. So generally, what are assimilatory roots? The roots which are adventitious in nature. It means they have developed from some other parts other than radicle and able to perform different functions. Based upon their function, they have named like that. Photosynthetic roots are assimilatory roots, floating roots and hygroscopic roots we have seen in the previous class. Hygroscopic roots, the roots which will absorb moisture from the atmosphere in the case of epiphytes. Roots which absorb moisture from the atmosphere are called hygroscopic. And we have seen sucking roots in the previous class. Sucking roots which are called haustorial roots. Parasitic roots, haustorial. Haustoria means the specialized roots which enters into the host plant body, either into the xylem or into phloem or in both xylem and phloem. Maybe they are complete parasites or incomplete parasites. Sucking roots found in parasitic plants. Examples here in the previous class I have given Vanda, here Cuscuta, Striga, Santalum. You can write whichever you remember. And the specialized roots which are called, they were responsible for vegetative propagation of the plant and they were developed from leaves which are called epiphyllous. Epi upon phyllous leaves, EPIPHYLLOUS, epiphyllous roots are foliar roots. Foliar means leaves. Let us see what are these. In some plants, like Bryophyllum, Begonia, so many are there. So what are these? These are the plants where Bryophyllum best example. Here, this is Bryophyllum leaf. Leaf lamina. Leaf lamina, petiole. This lamina is curved in the form of a notch. Again, notch. Again, it is not entire like this. Here and there, notches are there. These are called notch, N-O-T-C-H. So, in Bryophyllum, the best example, Bryophyllum plant, here on the margins of the lamina, this is called margin of lamina. The expanded part of the leaf is called lamina. The part which holds this lamina is called petiole. And where these are available, they were found on a particular node on the stem. So here Bryophyllum is a plant. It is having a leaf and its lamina is folded or curved here. These curving regions are called notches. In these notches, it develops certain roots and buds. These roots are called epiphyllous roots. So, whenever these epiphyllous roots are separated from the main plant, if they separate from here, and fall down on the surface of the earth, automatically these roots will fix to the soil and develop into a new plant. These are called epiphyllous buds. These are called epiphyllous roots. So, like this, whenever these roots fall on the ground, they develop into a new plant. This is a process of vegetative propagation by roots. So, my dear students, what is root? Generally, everybody, even a layman, knows root means the part of the plant which is present below the soil and it gives support to the plant, which can fix to the soil, which will absorb water and nutrients, and it will conduct the same to the, like that plant will grow from small size up to the large trees. But here, what a layman knows, what is root and what is this. All these are also called roots, various forms of the roots. How can we say that it is a root? Because of the knowledge which was generated from the morphology of angiosperms. Morphology means study of forms. So in the study of forms, we are going to study the basic forms, that is root, stem, leaf. Now we are going to enter stem or shoot system. Let us see the difference between a root and a stem. In the NCERT book, in the page number 68, to the best of my knowledge, they have given stem. Stem is nothing but the part which is called plumule, germinating seed. From a germinating seed, the downward part is called radicle. Radicle develops into root and various forms of roots we have seen. And the upper part, which is growing above the soil is called plumule, Plumule. My dear students, compulsorily basic knowledge is important to build up to construct your capability performance in the subject of biology, especially in botany. Since it is a dry subject, number of various terms will come. It is not difficult, it is easy only. Only thing is, you have to put some effort to listen from the basic knowledge. From a seed, when it grows, germinates, it develops some structure into the air above the soil. This is called plumule. So we are going to call this part as a germinating seed is nothing but embryo. Germinating seed is nothing but from the embryo. Whichever part growing is called plumule and comes above the soil and develops into the air, which consists of some special structures. They were growing into the air. They appear green in color, positively phototrophic, negatively geotrophic, negatively hydrotrophic. Stem is here. With this word we can say what is shoot system and what is stem. In my previous class I explained, my dear students. Shoot system is the name given to the total part of the plant body above the soil, and stem is the name given to the axis of the shoot system. Stem, axis, main axis of the shoot system. This stem consists of nodes. Node. The place between two nodes, internode. So question comes, this is the difference. When we observe root system or root, primary root or tap root or any adventitious root, fibrous root, it does not show this type of structures, which are called nodes or internodes. The basic difference between a root and stem, even though they look, if we peel them, if we remove, we'll make them same, but generalized structure, the different distinguishing character between stem and root is, stem constitutes nodes and internodes. What is a node? Question comes. A node is that region of the plant of stem where leaves are born. Leaves are formed. So, how to differentiate what is a node? Node means the place on the stem where a new leaf will be originated, formed, developed, produced, synthesized. And what is an internode? The portion which is present between two nodes. Internode. What is internode? The portion, the region between two nodes is called internode. So stem is that positively phototrophic, negatively geotrophic, negatively hydrotrophic, generally it bears it develops, produces nodes and internodes, and generally a stem along with this stem develops, produces or develops buds. What are buds? Again question comes. What is a bud? Young, underdeveloped, compact. Compact means closely arranged. A region, largest bud, cabbage, is a bud. What is a bud? A bud is a young. A bud may develop into flower. A bud may develop into branch. A bud may develop into inflorescence. A bud may develop into fruit. A bud may develop into. So a bud can be modified into various forms are there. But generally, what is a bud? Bud is nothing but the structures found on the stem usually. And these buds are again basically categorized into two types based upon their position on the shoot or stem. Buds terminal bud or apical bud, both are same. Terminal, last here. At the tip of the main axis, that is stem, or at the tip of the branches, they also possess leaves. At every node, leaves, for example, leaves. At every node, branches may be there. So here bud may be present, or here bud may be present. So based upon the position in the plant body, it is called terminal bud or apical bud. So how many places are there? Two places. Either at the tip of the main axis or at the tip of the any branches. So only tip, apex, apical, apex, tip, terminal, last, end regions, and lateral buds. What are lateral buds? Lateral means the buds which develop on the plant body on the lateral sides. On the lateral sides here. These lateral buds are again various types based upon their position. In the lateral side only. On the lateral side only, again they were classified axillary buds. Axillary buds, accessory buds, adventitious buds. It is compulsory, my dear students. So what neat question they will ask? Every sentence, whichever I have explained now, on every sentence they will create one question. If I teach 10 sentences, 10 questions. 50 sentences, 50 questions. So what is the crucial role of the student? Student has to be keen in the watching, observation, listening. So I'm not sure that everybody will definitely perfectly listen in online classes. I'm having doubt about it, because we have seen students in front of the teacher, in front of the students, in front of the teacher, in the classroom itself, how many movements of students will be there observed by the teacher, how many types of moody, what we call mindset, static minds of people will be there. All 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 1 hour continuously watching the teacher, it is hard. Not for every student, for some students. such condition these students cannot watch, so it will be difficult heavily. Otherwise, you have to get yourself engaged busily watching the movements. Apical bud or terminal bud. Axillary bud means what, sir? This is axillary bud. See here. This is called leaf. I wish to show. This is the stem. This is node. Here it is leaf. The upper angle of leaf and the stem. This is stem. This is leaf. The upper angle between the stem and leaf, this point is called axil. This point is called axil. If any axillary, if any bud develops, such bud is called axillary bud. What is axillary bud? Axillary bud is a lateral in position, and exactly its position is at the node. What is node? A node is that region where a leaf will originate, and leaf is having petiole, lamina, base of the leaf is attached to the node, and the upper angle between the stem and petiole is called axil. If a bud develops here, it is called axillary bud. Second one, accessory bud or additional bud. Accessory or additional here, it is difficult to show you here, but I wish to show you like this. If this is the bud, this is the leaf, this is the stem. Above the bud, so this side, or behind the bud, this side, if any bud arises, this is called accessory bud. Above or side, above or behind is called accessory bud. So exactly in the axil, axillary bud. If a bud develops from any part of the plant body other than node, except node, if buds develops from any part of the plant body other than node. So except node, if it is developing from the node, it should be either axillary bud or accessory bud. Here, adventitious bud, like adventitious roots, what we have studied earlier. So my dear students, what is stem? Stem is the axis of the shoot system, and shoot system is nothing but phototrophic positively, negatively geotrophic, negatively hydrotrophic. What it consists of, how to distinguish a stem from a root? It is having nodes and internodes, and it is having buds of various types. And these buds, terminal buds, are responsible for the growth of the stem or growth of the branches. Growth of the stem or growth of the branches. These axillary buds may develop into various, maybe floral buds, vegetative buds, so variously. Now, what is in general the function of stem? Stem is responsible for the conduction of water. Stem nutrients to the last leaves, to all corners of the plant body, to all corners of shoot system. They are also responsible for translocation, simply transportation, translocation of food from leaves to all other food. Food means here in the textbook they have mentioned photosynthesis. Photosynthate means after photosynthesis, whatever product is formed is called photosynthesis. Translocation of food from leaves to all areas, other areas. Next, some stems performs storage of food. Some plants storage. Generally, stem is responsible to spread the branches and leaves properly to the sunlight. Spreading of branches and leaves properly to the sunlight. Generally in the textbook, in that paragraph, they have given various types of generalized functions of the stem. They were responsible for making the plant parts to get the sunlight properly spreading, and they are able to perform various modified functions to become support. We'll see in the modifications, support in the form of helping the plant to climb, climbers, twiners. So various things are there. We will see in the next class. All the best.